Well, hey, folks. Good morning. Happy Sunday morning. Cheers. Are you awake? Do you know what is the most peaceful, solemn, solid, um, what's the other word I'm looking for? I guess those work just fine. Period of sleep. Do you know when that is? That is the 5 minutes before your alarm goes off. As if we all didn't know that already. So, how's everybody this morning? What's going on? I saw Uncle Dave was in here pretty early. You still out at the festival site, Dave, or are your duties there done and it's time to get out? I kind of like Uncle Dave. Um, my time at the Minnesota Renaissance Festival has pretty much ended, and I have said that's probably not a place that I will ever go again, unless dragged out there for a certain reason. So we have good memories of that place, and we have had lots of fun and lots of years out there. But everything's changed out there. It's not the same place it used to be, and it is certainly not inhabited or is infested. Maybe a good word, but infest for festival. It's not infested by the same uh, mindset that it used to be. The mindset out there now isn't one of we come out here to do our wonderful things and have a great time. And now there's a handful of people I think that still do that, but there's a mentality that just isn't the same anymore. And I don't know if Dave agrees with that, but it's overrun by a mentality that has canceled culture at its fore, that has the young politics at its fore, and it's no longer a place that's the same. So, not to start off with a negative, but that's what I thought of when I saw Dave Potter, and I knew he had to go out there to do a wedding yesterday. And but I'm sure it's fun to get suited up and to strut down the lane. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. If my old boys from 10 Seconds of Harmony wanted to get together and go out for an afternoon or a day of drinking and suited up, and I could probably do that. So, Doug Grumpy Stack is boycotting the Scotty Roberts show for forever. Oh, I'm so sorry, Grumpy. Um, what's your issue? What's your what's the word I'm looking for? What's your cause? Let's see if we can get behind you. I might join you in that one. Uncle Dave was back on the road. Well, Steph Cuervo Queen, are you kidding? Well, good morning. It's good to see you. I have no brain on this morning, so the Scotty Roberts show is always depressive talking points these days. All this talk about bibbles. Is that depressing for you, Doug? Here, lay your head down on the leather pillow on the leather sofa, and we'll say, how long have you been having these feelings like this, Grumpy Stock? Grievance, says Dave Potter. Yes. Drinking and frivolity was what you said earlier. Grievance. Well, Sunday mornings don't always have to be happy just for you, Grumpy Stack. So it started when I was 5. He says, you can in part blame me, Doug. Oh, what'd you do, Master Finn? Great to see you too, Steph. Oh, you watch the replays like when I'm at work. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think I knew that about you. You said something to me about that once before. So, well, it's just nice to have you here. I appreciate that. You come in. And this morning, I am quiet and at a low ebb. I don't know why. Woke up tired. Woke up like, oh no, I have to wake up now. Of course, I was wide awake at like 4. And I went, oh, it's 4 o'clock. I don't have to be up for 5 more hours. Just about. But so I was up for about an hour, messing around with stuff. And then laid back down with some archaeological show on TV. And I thought, surely I'll fall back to sleep and I'll be just fine. And of course, I woke up a little groggier than when I laid back down. So that's just the rules. That's the way things work. Steph, thank you. I'm glad you woke up today, Scotty. Better than not waking up at all. Ain't that the truth? Oh, look, Uncle Dave is here. Here, let's bring him in. Uncle Dave. That's the way things work. Yoo-hoo, Uncle Dave. Your picture is kind of wonky. Let's see what happens with it. Let's see if it clears up. Grumpy's in a quiet and low ebb because he had 4 children beating.
Are we having issues?
A lot of them for 4 hours in the pool yesterday. Nice, that'll wear you down. Hey, Ron Money.
There you are.
Top of the day. Money or Moni? How you doing, Dave? Your signal's a little weak, methinks. Yeah, Uncle Dave, you're frozen. So I'm going to take you out of the window. Call me back when you're... Oh, now your picture's moving down there. Let's try again. How's that?
What's happening here?
Yeah, Uncle Dave, you're frozen. So I'm going to take you out of the window. You got a little delay there, too. Call me back when you're... Oh, now your picture's moving down. Here, I'll remove Uncle Dave. And so Dave, call back as maybe reboost your signal or reboot or something. Call back in, and we'll talk. Kenny Lefavre, good to see you this morning. Glad you're in here. And so glad everybody's making it in this morning. Rainy will probably not be in here this morning. I think we could call this It's Sunday with Scotty and Rainy when she's in the mood and awake and feels like it. So, no, I think there's nothing fun about sitting back there in a chair and adding to the conversation. Her computer, she can get on there. Her camera's really wonked up. So I think she just needs a little better setting to come into the show. She could come over here and sit on a stool, but she's not even out of bed yet. So, yeah, Matthew Sainsbury, allergies, aren't those fun? So, so I woke up blank, void of topics for today. Well, I could probably find a topic pretty easily. What'd you think of the archaeology week? I really love that stuff. And we hadn't done shows on archaeology for a long time. And so that was fun for me. I enjoy biblical archaeology, especially when it deals with some of the things that you might know. Let's add Uncle Dave back in, see if we've got him.
I think we have it.
I think we have it. You sound strong. So what's going on? How was festival yesterday?
Oh my God.
Was it everything you wanted it to be?
You know, it was really nice having the motorhome out there.
I'll bet.
I started out the day, So I've been dealing with this foot issue, which meant I had to so I had to leave at 4 to get there on time to be there by 6 to put the motorhome where they wanted me to put it.
Okay.
And so
Is
I
it
had to
down
get
in
up.
the campground?
No, up behind what they call the Queen's Gate. It's a new gate they added.
Okay.
Anyway,
The new Queen's Gate. Yeah, it is.
so I've been dealing with this foot issue, which meant as soon as I got up, I basically had to get dressed and put those boots on so that if my foot swelled, it would be inside the boot, right?
Ah, yes, yes.
So, I put my boots on super early yesterday. So by the time I got to
Like
festival,
midnight.
well,
I slept in them.
2:30 in the morning,
Yikes. Yeah.
So, I got to festival. I'm there early. It's quite a while till anything's going to start. Kicked on the air conditioner, laid back in that queen size bed, and napped for a couple of hours before I had to go in. I'm like, I've never done festival like that. That's really nice to just climb out of a queen size bed and go, well, I think I'll go up on site and see what's happening.
Yeah.
It's like,
Instead of rolling out of a tent and
yeah, so different. So different.
Grumpy Stack, all week was archaeology week. Where were you? We're talking biblical archaeology.
Yeah, it was great. There were great shows.
I had a lot of fun with that. Haven't talked about that stuff in a long time. So it was a good time.
Even trimmed the beard up some for the thing.
All right. So which costume were you in? Captain Morgan?
Well, I started out as the Duke of Norfolk for the wedding and the sword fight, of which I'll send you some pictures. I look good. I was super happy with that. Then I went and changed into the Captain Morgan stuff for a bit. And then I said, screw this, I'm going home.
Yeah. Oh, look at the time. That's the difference, when you're out there working. It's like, oh God, I got 4 more hours to go.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that. I always thought of it more like, oh my God, there's only 4 more hours left.
Well, back then, yeah, when we were doing it full time, yeah, it was.
The other thing is, and I ran into some of my old buds and fellow sword fighters, and I took my sword off and handed it to them. Do you remember our swords ever feeling this heavy? What the hell? In fact,
exactly.
I had all of Morgan's stuff there, right? And so rapier, the big long parrying dagger, the small parrying dagger, the other small daggers. I mean, when I played Morgan, one of the jokes there, we did a like a poker game thing, and they had to disarm, and it took me like most of the game to take weapons out so that we.
Yes.
Because I was always armed to the teeth, and I didn't put any of that on because after wearing the sheriff's sword around for several hours, I'm like, yep, I want nothing on me.
Do they allow you to wear the swords out there anymore?
No, they don't.
I thought I had heard that the last time I was out.
Well, I
With
should
10
say
Seconds of Harmony
they
boys in
have
costume.
to be peace tied. They really discourage you from wearing a weapon.
See, now I thought they even did away with the peace tie. Folks, peace tie is you have to have your sword in your scabbard hanging on your belt, and it has to be tied into the scabbard, so it can't be pulled out.
Yeah, and they use zip ties now.
Zip ties now. Oh, that's here, I'll just wear my glasses and my watch too.
Yeah.
With my costume.
Like, well, can I use my cell phone then? As long as you're zip tying this with this piece of plastic. It's like, and so they wanted to zip tie our weapons, and I'm like, well, we're going to be fighting with them. Oh, you can't fight. Like, it's been sanctioned. It's like we're doing a show. You can't tie my sword in.
Steph wants to know which sword of yours they zip tied. Why, the working one.
So
yeah. We had to have zip tie, or not zip ties. We had to have peace ties. Even when I was out there, the last time I was out there was what, 2007? So that's 15 years ago.
I peace tie my sword because, and I've showed so many people how, like, they're like, oh, no one's gonna take the sword out of my arm, and there are ways that
how easy it is.
Oh yeah,
it's so somebody easy. Take you the sword out of your scabbard. Yeah.
You just walk up behind them and take a hold of their basket hilt. And as you walk, you just lift the sword. It comes right out of their scabbard. They have no clue.
Yep.
Yeah. And especially when they don't know how to wear a sword in the first place.
And it's not so much, you're not afraid of somebody stealing it. It's like, where did my sword go? It's somebody in that split second pulling that out, and they've got a live weapon in their hand.
Yeah.
So
even if they're just trying to be funny,
even if they're
it
being
can be
funny.
very dangerous very quickly.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Steph doesn't even want to ask about the sword swallowers.
oh my God.
We knew a
Johnny
few of
Fox.
those in our day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So it was a good time. The sword fight went well, and got to run into a bunch of people that I haven't seen for ages. That was good.
that's what's
But
fun about going to fests, when you bump into people you've known for a long time out there. So a lot of crafters are the people. I run into crafters when the last time I went, are people, because they're always there.
yeah.
They're not the actors. They put on costumes, and they do some acting, and they do some bits, but they're there to sell their wares, and some of them have been there, for 40 years.
Hmm.
And so those people are always there, and you always know them. So Mike Yahudi, I'm not going to scream
Definitely
this
feeling the
morning.
pain of it this morning, though.
What's that about this morning?
Definitely feeling the pain
Oh,
of yesterday this morning. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
My
folks,
body's aching.
yeah, you go out there, and unless you're in really good shape or
Walking
younger
around on
or
that bedrock.
walking around, it's bedrock out there. There's grassy areas and all of that, and lots of
Not
trees and
much.
stuff, but it's you're walking around in costume all day and performing from basically 9 a.m. is when the cannon goes off and you open up, but you're ready about an hour before that. So you come up about 8:30 for cast call, and then you go until 7 o'clock in the evening, with a couple of breaks maybe in there somewhere.
Took me 20 minutes just to get my
That'll
left
wear you
boot
down.
off.
That'll wear you down. And everybody loved Labor Day weekend because it was 3 days. You got to do Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But once you were done with Labor Day weekend, you were like, oh my God, I am so beat for doing this 3 days in a row. So yeah, it was a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
Mike Yehudi, I can't yell this morning. Everybody's still sleeping.
Yehudi!
Yehudi!
I'll do it for you.
So, Yehudi, I thought you were Jewish when you first came into the chat room a few years back. Yehudi? Yes, I'm Mike Yehudi. My father was Abraham Yehudi. His father before him was Jacob Yehudi. So,
I just sent you in Messenger from my other Facebook account photographs from yesterday. So if you wanted to share them, you can.
Yeah, I can share some of these. I will do it by sharing my screen, because otherwise I would have to convert them to PDF to import them in as a slideshow. So, folks, here's a
from the sword fight, but I look pretty good for an old guy.
Here's Uncle Dave. I'm going to share my screen, folks. Here's Uncle Dave yesterday at the festival.
The first one is the best, I think. But
boom, the first one
or second one, I guess.
Or that would be second one.
Yeah.
Here we go. Well, there he is. There's Uncle Dave. Is that Bill Locken?
That's Bill Locken.
Wow, in the blue. He was the sheriff out there. Bill's got to be, about 72 years old now?
Yep. And then I was the sheriff after him. There's a great line. He says, my sword does my talking for me, and my sword is engraved with Lord High Sheriff. And I said, oh, my sword says Lord High Sheriff. What's yours say? Retired?
Nice. So Bill Locken was the sheriff. He was a big larger than life character out there. Very bombastic, and he was the head of the Royal Guard, which I was part of. He recruited me into the Royal Guard. He's the man on the right that's, and he is also a certified. Bill is a certified sword master as well, is he not?
We're not certified as sword masters, but we're 35 years experienced. You know.
Yes, and so they are both expert swordsmen, and that's a nice picture.
Yeah,
Right.
there's some good pictures in there. There's some that were taken just before the point of contact when
Yes.
But yeah.
That's the Royal Arbor. Is it still the Royal Arbor?
I think they just use
The
it for
building
special
there?
events. I think they just use it for special events. I don't
The
think
roof
King
blew
uses
off
it
of that a
anymore.
few years ago in a storm. So,
but anyway, that's a look at.
oh, well, that was kind of cool watching it go by quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's just a little glimpse of yesterday.
There's Bill. Yes, and Bill was that's his wife Laura in the yellow in the background. Former pirate Captain Gray.
Captain Gray, yeah.
So, and Bill has you see old pictures of Bill Locken from the early 70s. The man looked like Errol Flynn.
Yeah.
Out there, some of his old pictures when he first started the festival. So let's see. I thought you threw up another one here.
I think that's it. Well,
oh, that is it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, that's
that was
just a
Dave's
glimpse of
escapades yesterday at the festival. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Stop screen. There we go. Hey, Sarah Yusuf.
So how's Raini and Flynn? Did they have a good trip?
They had a great trip. Elderberry wanted to hear about Flynn's first catching salmon, standing out in the river in waders and catching salmon.
Yeah, how do you love that?
Much about it. Raini said he was a little disappointed because the fish were a little low this year, and Raini said, and they spent a lot of time helping frame in Kate and Carrie's cabin up there. That was alliterated. Kate and Carrie's cabin.
Yeah.
And that they bought a little...
See the comment when she got the nail in the leg, and I'm like, any excuse to drop trouser on. It's such an old.
Yeah, really. Carrie shot her in the leg with his nail gun. So now Carrie's, supposed to be pretty good at that. And, he's in the Air Force, and he's in one of these units that does a lot of construction and stuff like that, and that's what he does. But he accidentally shot his wife in the leg with a nail gun.
She should keep an eye on
I don't think it
but
pierced the muscle and hit the bone or anything. It was like sideways, slanted.
Yeah, they pulled it back out.
Pulled it right back out. Yeah, they didn't just leave it. So,
well, that's always good.
Yeah.
Not the first time he's nailed her.
That's right. The first time was at Scotch and Cookies.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah, when we had our Thursday night gatherings, there was all of a sudden Raini's sister Kate disappears, and where'd Carrie go? And Kate was living with us at the time, and in the room that was off the main bar room in the basement that Dave and I had converted into a 15th, 16th century looking pub. And I said, I'll bet you they're in Kate's room. And I said to Dave, I said, everybody grab your beer. So everybody grabs their beer, and we had about 12 people just barge into Kate's room. How impolite of us, how indelicate of us. But we barged into Kate's room, and sure enough, there they are. They're humping and bumping and greasing up the old flak suit. And Carrie's on top. And with and he just stops. And when we all come in, he just stops. He freezes. And Dave and I and everybody, we filed in, and we're all just leaning on the desk on the the washer and dryer was in there. Leaning there, we're talking, we're just carrying on conversation, ignoring them. And Kate yells out, "Well, don't stop now."
Olson.
And so we're like, "Go, Carrie, go." We were taking bets on who would finish first, and things like that. And well, we gave them their privacy back in a few minutes. It was a fun joke at the time. So
I really miss those two.
Yeah. Well, they've been gone for years. He joined the Air Force, and he's in his third or fourth stint. Resign, what do you call it? It's not deployment, where you re-up. He's in his third or fourth now, and he'll probably make it, obviously making it a career, and we'll be there. And shouldn't you all be at Ren Fair, said Ryan Gale just now. Maybe 15 years ago.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, no longer, Ryan. Dave was there yesterday.
I was so happy to get out of there yesterday.
Yeah.
I was sitting there as I'm driving out of there at 4 o'clock thinking, I've never left the show this early, ever.
Yeah. So Grumpy Stack says 35 years experience. You've handled a lot of swords. That's certified in my book.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've handled a lot of swords. That is for sure. Been stabbed 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. I've only been stabbed once. So that scar right there. You can even see it still.
I've only stabbed one person, but I've stabbed him 2 or 3 times.
It wasn't cut. I was stabbed. I had a sword run up my arm, into my arm. So you can imagine the position of it. The scar. Yeah. I was holding a dagger out. I had rapier and dagger, and I had the dagger out, and I had parried away his sword, and he thrust and thrust my dagger, and he thrust his sword back in. He didn't repost. He just thrust right back in, ran it up my arm.
Yeah, I've got some beautiful scars on my arm from usually from the costume. If you like, when you look at the puff and slash, and so the tip of the blade can get inside one of those slashes, and then it just drives it up into your
right.
flesh, so.
Yeah, Ryan's got to pay. He's got to pay to get in now.
I did too yesterday. Well,
they made you pay to get in?
No, I got comps, but yeah, I wasn't there on a.
I know enough people. I know people out there I would go to if I wanted to go out. I'd get comps, but
that's what I did.
I've over the years when I went out there, I always got comps. So over the last 15 years, I'd say it's probably been. When was I out with 10 Seconds of Harmony? We were out, 6 or 7 years ago, and I got comps to do that too. So, you're lucky you didn't hit any veins or arteries. Yes, but But what was the line with Scott? What's his name? Right through the aorta. One of the guys during a show, blunted weapons. This shows you even with the blunted weapons, you could be seriously injured.
Are you talking about Jim?
He came out like this with a thrust, and somebody thrust to him, and they thrust their weapon, and it went into his armpit and pierced the aorta. That was the saying after that. Pierced his aorta. And he stood there for a second because the blade came right back out. And I think there was some question. Did I actually hit you up on stage? And he goes, wow, I don't feel so good. Thump, and he went down. And he's fine. I mean, he survived. But in that moment, it was quite scary. Take him to the hospital right away.
there was that incident with Jim and I can't think of the other
Steph.
kid's name. Stabbed in the chest and pierced the heart sac, not the heart, but the fluid sac that it sits in.
Yep.
That was pretty scary.
Steph says the swords I've been poked with don't leave scars. Well, maybe an emotional one here or there. Boom.
Steph.
Yeah.
Stabbed by a few students.
What was the Tim Roth line in? I believe it was his line in Rob Roy. He said something like so much better that you're the scabbard to my sword, or something like that. I can't remember what his line was. So
he was great in that film. He played that character perfectly.
Here's Matthew Sainsbury. His battle scars. That happened to me. I was cutting a carrot and a sharp knife cut an artery in my thumb. No, that was a scary experience. I was about 10 then. Yeah. Don't cut off your thumbs.
Yeah. You'll bleed out.
It sets you apart from primates. Opposable thumbs. Yeah, that's when we all get cut, when we don't know what the hell we're doing when we're cooking when we're 10. So I'm surprised we didn't bleed out for all the antics we did when I was a kid.
I've been cut a handful of times in the kitchen.
Yeah, I'm sure. I got cut once. I was cutting tomatoes, and Raini came up behind me. You know Raini. I'm
Your wife?
Tomato. I mean, you know what she's like. She comes up behind me. She hits my elbow. She goes, "Oops!" And I go, "Slink!" And I went, "Ow!" Cut my finger. And she goes, "Did I cut your finger with that?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Ah."
So Rainy.
That's so Rainy.
I made you bleed.
I made you bleed. And then she got me a Band-Aid. So
yeah, because she's a good wife.
Yeah, she's a good wife. She'll make you bleed, but then she'll nurse you back to health.
What's the Billy Joel line? Cut you like a knife and laughs while you're bleeding.
Yeah. Pretty much. Sarah Yusuf, you're lucky you didn't hit any veins or arteries. Yeah, that's the truth. Oh, she also says, I can't keep my kitchen knives sharp enough. Hey, Stylish Birch. Yeah, our kitchen knives are pretty good. That's funny. I haven't sharpened them in a while, but they're still... What was that? That must have been you.
Yeah, I've got the volume all the way down on this tablet, but it still leaves notices.
Yes.
I haven't figured out how to shut those damn things off.
Oh, yeah. I think I only have like one picture of me sword fighting. I think it's the one.
It's the fight where you got cut.
It's no, I got cut right after. We were practicing, we were rehearsing backstage, and let's see if I've got it here. There it is. No, that's not it. I'll show you. Here it is. It's a low res picture. Jeez, it's really low res. It's too bad this wasn't a higher res picture because it was a cool shot. But this is the one where just before I got cut. Right here. There it is.
Yep.
And that's Rob. He's the guy that cut me. He wasn't using this sword that we were using in rehearsal. Somebody handed him a sword, and he didn't check the sharpness of the blade. The blade was live, go to battle.
Yeah, what we call live steel.
That's me on the left. This had to be 1995 or 6 is when that happened. So we were backstage, Iowa Renaissance Festival. We were rehearsing the scene. Back behind, you even see down here in the corner, you can even see the rope for the tent. We were back
Yep.
behind the tent, backstage, rehearsing, and so that was the day I was cut. So by Rob Lane, stop screen, boom, there you go. Why? Thank you, sir. My calves weren't bad either. You should really see my ankles. So I am barefoot, but I have Fred Flintstone feet, you know?
You were barefoot in that picture?
No.
Oh, I
No.
was going to say, I thought you had boots on.
I had my Catskill Mountains on, which disappeared. Heather White! You okay, Scotty? You sound a bit tired. I am a bit tired. That's how we open the show. On the big positive
Yeah.
note, Heather, that what is the most peaceful time of sleep? It's that 2 minutes before your alarm goes off. So yeah, this morning I was like, God, nobody will be mad if I don't show up, will they? It's not like you don't have better things you can do on a Sunday morning. And we got no topic today. And as most of you know, Sundays are pretty topic-less. It's kind of, let's discuss what's going on. Let's have a talk. Let's act like we're all sitting, in the breakfast nook or out on the patio with our cup of coffee and have a conversation. My grandma says I'm handsome, says Stylish Birch. Do you have handsome ankles? So I'd show you. I'm barefoot now. I'd show you my feet, but they're probably really dirty because I've been
They're
walking
hobbit
around.
feet.
Yeah,
They're hobbit
they're
feet.
hobbit feet. I've been walking around barefoot. I go outside barefoot. And
He's got
so
more hair on his feet than he does on his head.
I do, which is very sad. I saw you never see the side or the back of your head unless you take a mirror and you're deliberately looking. You're in the mirror in the morning and you're putting junk and you're going, oh, I look okay. I got some hair left until you see a picture that somebody's taken of you from the side or the back. And I got this nice tuft of hair in the front here, if there's not backlight shining through it, showing how thin it is. But that tuft of hair from about here back is like bald. It's like, oh, holy cow. So,
Dude, seriously, I'm going to give you this when I cut it off. So you
there you
can
go. Seriously, I'll wear it. We'll just blend it in. I'll put a big bow on top. Oh,
I'm growing
bow.
it just for you because, locks of love,
That
baby.
reminds me of a, when I say bow, that reminds me of a book Raini showed me. We were at Target yesterday, and she found this book, a kid's book, like a primary level book. And it was a book about, oh God, if I could remember it. Hang on a second. I think I know where I can find pictures of this. I took a few pictures. I wasn't going to buy it because I didn't want the barcode to give the publisher credit for it. Well, I took it on my phone. Cat, you suck that hairball right back up. He's over there going, hey. You're going to throw up, go throw up on the tile floor in the bathroom, not on the carpet. You rancid beast. So anyway, as I was saying, well, that's weird. It doesn't show up in my photos off of my phone. That's odd. Very odd. None of my pictures from yesterday show up. Cat, get out from under my desk. You're going to sit down there and gag, and I hate that. I hate walking around the house
It's the
barefoot and you
worst
step
sound.
in a little pile of pukey hair. It's like, if you're going to throw up hairballs, it's natural for a cat. Go do it in your cat box or do it on the tile floor where it can be wiped up, not on the carpet where it soaks in. Oh, I hate animals some days. They make me mad. I was so mad. That was a Mercer Mayer book. I Was So Mad was the name of the book. A
What are
great book.
your plans for that first week of October?
My plans for the first week of October?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why? Why do you ask?
Well, I've got this thought. The girls' festival opens that first
Oh,
weekend,
that's right. The North
and
Carolina Renaissance Festival. My daughter's bought a big booth out there, building, and it's a building. They're doing their mermaid stuff in a booth at the festival in North Carolina.
I have a chest full of pirate costumes for Zach,
Oh, that's right.
and so which I've been trying to get to them forever because the chest is huge. So I was thinking putting the chest in the motorhome and
Oh, that'd be
driving it
fun.
out there. It's a 16-hour drive, and get there a couple of days before they open, help them get everything finished, the last stuff, and get opened, and then do that first weekend and maybe camp through that week and do the second weekend and come home.
Yeah, Steph, the cat got the hairball from looking at my feet.
Yeah.
That might be a fun trip. Here's the book. I thought it would show up in my Google Pictures, which all my pictures from my phone do, except the ones I took yesterday. It was in deep discount for like $6, something like this. But this is the book, if you can see that. It's called Bye Bye Binary. Nobody puts baby in pink or blue. Nobody puts baby in pink or blue, in a pink or blue corner. Bye Bye Binary. Now
Yeah. See,
this goes on.
on one level, I sort of get it, but on the other level, it's kind of like, really, of all the things in the world that are going wrong, this is the mountain you want to die on.
Yeah.
I
And
just,
then that's a 2-page spread. And they don't say what it is, a boy or a girl. And
here's part of what frustrates me with this.
it's a
All through the
baby is what it is. It's a
all through the
baby.
pandemic, it's follow the science, follow the science, follow the science.
I know.
And then he comes to pronouns, and it's like, well, we're going to ignore the science here. With science is pretty much obvious. You have two genders. I don't care what you want to relate as, but you basically have two genders. Now, I will give you that on occasion, nature throws a curveball and you get a hermaphrodite, so you have both.
Yeah, right. Well, that's a aberration is not the word I'm looking for. That was an abnormality of nature. It says, by the way, it says I'm a baby, and then it says, and I'm ready to smash gender norms. They're only social constructs anyway. And I was taking pictures of this book, and I wanted to get more pictures than that, but that's all I took. And so it was like, there's some weird indoctrination for you. Now, that one you got to buy. But that's what they want to teach in school.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that's going to confuse
Steph.
kids more than just so frustrating. And like I said, I don't care how you want to identify however you want.
Yeah.
But the reality is, in science, there are two genders.
Pink and blue. What color do pink and blue mix together? What does that make?
Lavender.
Like putting a lavender kind of a color, muddy lavender. So
it depends on how much blue and what shade of
pink
and
what shade of pink. Fuchsia, or
is it a light blue or a dark blue?
Or a light pink, dark blue, or a cornflower blue.
In essence, you're going to get a variation of purple.
Yes, purple-ish mauve, says Sarah Yusuf. Oh, I got a weird back pain all of a sudden in my mid back, so that's why I'm moving around funny. So I'm in work, so I'm catching wee bits here and there, says Heather White. Heather White's over in Glasgow, Scotland. Where do you work, Heather?
Heather's my favorite name.
Heather. Yeah, I remember from time before she was born. The original Highlander. Heather, I'm immortal. So
Yeah.
the Queen song, "Who Wants to Live Forever?"
What's the weather like in Scotland today?
Yeah, what's going on over there? Heather, what's your weather like?
This is a soft day.
It's soft. Soft, the rain's coming down, almost straight down. It's a wee bit slanted. I don't know if she's still there. So I'm in work, she says. So she's either painting or illustrating or she's working on a Sunday.
To be in Scotland today.
Yeah, it would
That'd
be
be
nice.
grand.
We'd be taking September off for that book thing. You asking me, Sarah? I might go to Sweden for the month of November.
That would so if I took you away for a week in October, would that upset Rainy?
No, not necessarily. Hey, Marlise Kolb. I don't think so. You know, she already knows I'm planning on being in Sweden for a month in November. All depends on how money goes. You know how that is. It's all well. It looked good a month ago. Now it's like
Yeah.
you got to pour out so much money to move these days.
Oh,
Moving
that's
to a
right. You're
new rental
moving.
property is like, just
When are you guys moving again?
chalk up another $6,000 into your budget you didn't plan on doing. It's she would like us in there the 1st of September. We have till the 30th of September to be out of this place. The new place wants us in by, I got to have you in by the 1st. I mean, that's the way it works anymore. It's nobody ever has to wait for anybody or accommodate anybody. It's all, well, if you can't do it by the 1st, I'll just give it to somebody else.
Well,
you know. And it's like, well, yeah.
What do they care how long it takes you to move in?
Well, that's it. Moving, you can't move in a day. It's like it's like when you're renting, you rent until the last day of your lease, and it's usually the last day of a month, and then you move into the new place the first day of the month. That's the way the leases are. But who the hell can pack up and move in a day? Well, packing up, you can get that all done. But moving a whole household in a day is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell her at this place, instead of the end of September, we're going to be out at the end of the first week of September. And let's prorate it. And but see, it's not up to you either. It's what well, you got to pay the whole month then. Well, no, I don't. Why don't you be accommodating?
Especially since
you just paid for your house for the last year. You can,
on top of the fact that we're gonna give you a lease for next year. Oh, we changed our mind. Now we're not. They could be some accommodating.
Exactly. Oh, we're gonna sell instead. And well, thanks for the heads up. I'll move my whole family now. So that's the reason Rainey went to Alaska, because we were renewing our lease, and we said, yeah, sure, we can afford to send you to Alaska. And it was about $950 for her and Flynn to go, and total. And that's about $1,000 we could be using right now. That's the way those things go.
I'm going to say this: seeing the smiles on his face while he was there.
Oh yeah, it was
totally worth that $900.
Totally worth it. And Flynn is not a sad, melancholic kid, but he comes across that way to me sometimes. It's like, what happened to my son?
Because he used all. When you look at all the pictures of him, nothing but a huge giant smile.
Big
and
smile.
Then he
like
hit
in the last 2 years.
The 11 and 12, and he got into that. And I think it's cool to have that sort of somber scowl, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And I even wrote, and there's a picture that you'll see
I
from
saw it.
and I wrote, I'm like, dude, I love that smile. I miss that
Yeah,
smile. Save
I
your
remember
scowl
that.
for your friends and share your smile with your family. That's
Yep. Yeah, we commented on it yesterday when we were out. Rainey and I commented to Flynn. We'd catch him. We were taking some pictures, and she would poke him in the armpit or something. And he'd just smile because his mom's doing it. You know, it's not like he doesn't get annoyed. It makes him smile. It makes him happy when his
yeah.
mom does that or when I do that. You know, to him it's a love thing, a loving thing. And and he smiles, and she goes, "Did you get the picture while he was smiling?" Oh wait, I think it was right in here. Hold on. I actually have this stuff on my phone. We went to the teddy bear park in there it is. This is the picture where that was going on. So let's see if I can zoom in here on him. So that smile right there, it's because Rainey was poking him in in the back of his knee or something to get him to smile. And she goes, "There, I got you to smile." And
He's got to smile a lot like his mom's.
he does. And see, that's his normal smile. This is
Yep.
yesterday at the. There's his normal smile, and so he's kind of the fake smile, you know. So she got him to smile a little bit, and
How are the girls now that Rainey's back?
um, they're fine. You know, Ellie was happy Mom was back because
She
she
is
just likes hanging on
definitely,
Mom.
yeah, she is definitely Rainey's mini me.
She's mini me, and so she was happy Mom was back. And there's Ellie yesterday, by the way. There she
Yeah.
is.
Rowan's a lot more like you.
Rowan is very outgoing and very, yeah, she's gone. She went to the Dells with some friends. Wisconsin Dells, it's an area, region out here, folks, where you can go they got amusement parks and
I
stuff.
swear that girl travels more on her own
I
without
know,
her family than
than
anybody I
anybody
know.
else. So,
She's got her own schedule.
yep,
Oh, I can't do that. I've got such and such booked that day.
I can't do that. I'm traveling that day. My 10-year-old. So, what is Sam up to these days? Asked Ryan Gale. Well, Sam is working. He's living down in Ellsworth, where we used to live a long time ago, where the ranch was. And he's working down there. I don't know if he's working in Ellsworth or down south there. I think he's just menial stuff. You know, he's doing his stint at age 21, you know, trying to get his feet on, trying to figure out where he's going, what he's doing. And I'd love for him to get into trade school and do something. There was one point I even encouraged military for Sam. Hey, you should go into the military. And he doesn't want to do that.
Which
Sorry,
in some
Yasuska's.
way surprises me the way he grew up.
Yeah. Sam was always around fun, adventure, festival, the regiment when we did it.
Yep.
When I had scotch and cookies at the house, like I said, one of the major benefits of that to my kids, my 3 older ones, when we were doing it, was they got to see all different kinds of people and experience the music. The bands would come to the house and all of that stuff. So Sam learned how to sword fight early on, and so you know, he's got that personality. Sam is mini me, definitely. He's got my personality. He's got my looks, my build, my resemblance. That's what I mean by looks. So That's what Sam's doing. Sarah Yusuf says chicks dig the brooding Byronic hero in Flynn. Yeah, that might be. He's 13 now, so he doesn't express a lot about his as most 13-year-olds.
He's very stoic.
He's stoic. He doesn't express. I have sexual interests now. That doesn't come up, although we're very open about that. So we talk about that stuff around this house. And he'll get red-faced when you talk about girls around him. Oh, he's your girlfriend, Flynn. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have one. So he's
yeah, it always kills me when he talks because his voice changed so fast.
I know.
I'm like, where's that voice coming from? I'm looking.
It was interesting.
I'm looking at a kid and I'm hearing a man.
I got a call from Raini while they were in Alaska. I go, oh, it's Raini. Let me grab this. And I go, hello, and I hear, and I'm like, I thought it was Carrie on her phone. It didn't even occur to me that it was Flynn. I thought it was Carrie, your brother-in-law, calling me or messing around with me on the phone. I thought, all right, who's messing around with me on the phone? It's me, Dad. Oh, Flynn. Yeah, I didn't recognize. He was like, oh, he called me to tell me about his fishing experiences, but he was very. Hi, Dad. I went fishing. Went fishing today. Oh, cool. Did you catch anything? Yeah. I go, well, you having a good time? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have much to talk about. Well, you called me. Yeah. That's my pubescent voice changed 13-year-old son. So
13 already. He was 3 just yesterday.
Yeah. So Sam, according to Ryan, asked that question. Oh, excuse me, folks. It's not you. It's me. It's me, really. Sam is just working. He's got a girlfriend. As a dad, I'm like, it's okay having a girlfriend. I wish you wouldn't have to worry about that right now. Just concentrate on where you want to be in life, what you want to do. The girlfriend will come at the right time.
He's 21. It is the right time.
Yeah, well, that's it. I was married when I was 21. So
yeah,
there you go. Mm-hmm. Teenager, says Matthew Sainsbury. So yeah, exactly. So somebody else asked Steph Cuervo Queen. Steph. I always hear Antonio Banderas say your name. Steph Cuervo Queen. Funny how Pelosi's son is the second biggest investor in China's chip manufacturing company for the new green stuff. How about that? Oh, how'd that happen? What a coincidence that is.
He is such a lucky man to have thought of doing that just before we signed those bills.
Where'd he get that idea? I guess it's, you throw the dartboard at the map and you hit the right spot, Well, she doesn't have to worry about an FBI raid. Let's see. She needs a GPS tracking chip put under her skin. I'm not sure who you're referring to, Sarah. My daughter, Ellery, Wild Child. Or probably Rowan. So we're talking about Rowan traveling all over the place. Yeah, possibly. So thought about doing that anyway with the kids at one point. We never did. Chip the kids for safety,
Yeah.
But anybody who's stealing kids already knows that. That's going to be the first thing dug out of them. So Ruben Fast Horse. Hey, Ruben. How you
Good
doing?
morning. Hey, honey.
Good morning. What
Good
you
morning,
got going on?
Potter.
Water. Yes, coffee.
Brother Ruben, how are you this morning?
I am copacetic. If you can
All
remember,
right.
you remember that word?
Yeah.
We used to use it at one time.
I would say I'm copulating, but I'm not. Is that anything like copulating?
No thanks. So Rainy made it back, and Flynn.
Yes, she is home. They came home on Thursday evening. About 10 o'clock, the plane landed in the evening. So,
And where did you go? Minneapolis?
to pick them up, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Minneapolis Airport. Yeah,
Figured.
international.
I know that drive pretty
We
well.
have an international airport.
Yeah, there you go. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get a new hat. Looked like.
Yes, I did. It's not here.
You'll be
It's
ready
upstairs.
for those Wisconsin.
Those Wisconsin
Hold-
winners. Hey,
Those-
you hold on. You two talk for a minute.
Okay.
I'm gonna let's see. Can I remove myself from the window? I'll remove myself, and you two talk for a minute. I'll be right back.
All right. How have you been, Ruben?
I'm good. Were you at Grand Portage recently?
I did not do Grand Portage this year. Dear friend of mine went up. David, I don't know. Do you know? I'm having a mental block on his Turner. David Turner. He's a Ojibwe, and he has his daughter is Tilly, and they went up, and Tilly posted a ton of pictures.
Yeah.
But
No, that's great. The reason why I was asking is a lot of. Thank God I still have my friends, Eric and Shelley Nelson. Eric Shelley and Erlen Shelley, father and son, from White Oak, from the old White Oak rendezvous that I recollect, and Big Island and whatnot that they get around. So, Carl Coster. I don't know if you know Carl. Big guy.
I might know him by face, and not. There's a lot of those guys
he's a park ranger there, Portage. So, anyway, long story short, I don't know if you ever knew Jimmy Kimball out of Fort Dodge, Iowa, who passed on this year or this past year. Good friend of mine, brother. So his girlfriend, Barbara Wallace Hughes, went up, and I guess they did a little. In Lakota, we call it the wiping of the tears ceremony. After a person's deceased, you put on a feed and a giveaway in their honor to remember them in that sense. So I know that went on. Rick and Barrett Ellison from Wyzetta.
Oh, there's
anyway. There he is. Très chic.
There we go. And ready for winter, eh? So, there you go. That's the hat Rainey brought me back from Alaska.
What does it say?
Alaska. Alaska. So, yeah, that's my so my winter gear is in.
There you go. Are the leaves changing there?
Oh, not yet. Not yet. It's too hot still.
But, yeah, here in New York, I'm just 50 miles north of New York City, Warwick, western part of the Hudson.
You got leaves changing already?
Yeah, we do.
Wow.
More deciduous trees here. So this is actually where a lot of the last of the Mohicans was thought to be. I know they filmed that in North Carolina, but
yeah,
it's very convincing here. It's still very deciduous, and I've been up to Cooperstown.
Me too, Sarah Yusuf.
Vacation a little bit, and
I've been to Cooperstown.
Yeah, that's the home of the museum of the James Fenimore Cooper, who wrote last.
Right, and the what hotel were we at up there?
Oh gosh,
the something glass, the lake. He had fictionally named the.
I know what you're talking about.
Lake.
Yeah.
And of course, Coopertown is the home, if you're into baseball, of the Baseball
True.
Hall of Fame.
Nah.
But small
I'll have
town up there.
I'll have a beer and a hot dog. That's about it for the baseball game.
Yeah,
Lacrosse is a much better sport.
Oh God, I played lacrosse in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a great sport though.
Teresa Denton.
Dave and Tilly both played. Tilly is fierce.
Wow.
when she's out there. Yeah.
Oh, is she?
What position does she play? Do you know?
I do not know.
There's the goalie, and then there's guys with the long. They got the long. I want to call them spears.
All those the long spear guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Center, probably center and stuff like that. And
I know, David, they did when they're at rendezvous and stuff, they'll play traditional, so just bare skinned.
I remember playing in Portage, like in Last of the Mohicans, when they take their shirts off and run around, and it was cool to play in that way. And then there was, cool to see all the women folk sitting there, kind of like starry, looking at these half-naked men. Exactly.
Right.
Running around in leggings and breech clouts and bare chest.
When we were all younger and actually looked
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Here, let me take off my shirt now, and I'll.
Don't do
what's that? First thing would be, what's that glaring white bright reflection?
I could see. Okay, I could see your heart beating.
Yeah, right through my skin. Oh, yesterday, Ellery, she's getting too big to. Ellery is like, she's 10 now. I'm 7. She's only 7, but she's as tall as Rowan, the 10-year-old.
Wow!
And she's find a. Now, you all remember what Ellery looks like. You all see her here every day. You went climbing at Teddy Bear Park in Stillwater. They have these great walls that they have built to match the natural walls. So here's Ellie. She's sitting up on the wall there. That's all theatrically built climbing walls they've got, and it matches the bluffs there.
Sweet.
See, like that. It's
wow.
Gorgeous park. But she stands up there and wants to jump to me, like she did when she was
like a little kid,
a child. And here, by the way, I already showed this one, but just to give everybody a little perspective here, here's Ellery. There she is. So she's tall. She's as tall as Rowan. And you can see when I say she is 100 pounds, I don't want you to think she's like fat or heavy or anything like that. She's a big kid, 7 years old, and she's 100 pounds.
Wow.
Over 100 pounds.
What are you feeding her?
Amazonian. Well, she always was. What are we feeding her? Well, she grew up on breast milk. And but she was big when she was born. We thought, oh, she's going to be a monster. One of those Amazonian athletic types. Well, anyway, she was up on those rocks. That's the reason I showed that. And she says, Dad, I want to jump to you. Catch me. I'm like, come on. And, like I always did. And she would jump to me. I'm still thinking in the back of my head, it's been a while since my kids have jumped to me like that. I'm thinking, my 40-pound kids, is what my brain is conditioned for.
And so you're 25.
She jumps out to me, and here comes 100 pounds. It's like, whoomp, and I'm like, oh my God. And I couldn't catch her.
Knee to the groin.
Down really quick.
Groin.
And she said, let's do it again. And she runs up on the rock again. I go, well, let's, and she said, just one more time. I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, okay, now I get the stance, it's like, okay, I'm ready. And she jumps out and she puts her knees out this time.
Oh my God.
Knee to the groin. Knee to the groin.
And I'm like, oh my God. And I couldn't catch her. because she hit my sternum is just wired
Yeah.
shut.
You had your surgery there.
From surgery, and she nailed it. It still hurts from yesterday.
Oh,
It was
jeez.
like, oh my God. But she had both her little bony knees out there and 100 pounds of bony knee weight into my chest. And I'm like,
At least it didn't go south. So
yeah, well, that's happened too. Hey,
that
Dad,
would
can I
knock.
jump on you? And see, normally they don't wait for your answer. They're like, hey, Dad, can I jump on you? Thump, and you get a knee in the groin, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to die now. And so, yeah, groin is a very yes, Matthew Sainsbury, the groin is a very sensitive area. That's because my balls are right there.
Since we're talking about the twins,
Yeah.
It's you don't feel it right away, and then it just builds up and up into your stomach, and then you just bend over, you heave over. I mean, you get
exactly.
You get hit or kicked, and then you have to think about it for just a split second.
Yeah,
like, did that just happen? Oh, it just happened.
Did I just get squared? And you're like, yes, I did. Your brain goes.
Of all things to talk about on a Sunday, knee to the groin, knee to the groin.
Well, it's got to be talked about. If it's a Sunday, that's all right too. So.
Yeah, true. Amen. Well, I'm glad
Dave,
you walked.
What do you think about getting kicked in the testicles? Well, Dave is non-comment. So
I have no comment on that.
I have no comment on that. So
oh gosh. So yeah, Scotty, Dave Potter and I were talking about the Grand Portage event that happened, and how I missed that. Of all the rendezvous, I love Saukville. I don't know if they still do Saukville in Wisconsin there, but
all the rendezvous and all the historical reenactments, she comes strolling into mine. Paraphrasing,
it's I've done my share and I've done my time. I'm sure we all have, and I don't think I could do a weekend or even Bloomington a whole week. I'd probably just be good for a day, just to walk in and walk out. I like my bed too much.
Yeah. Well, that's like Dave and Festival yesterday. It's like, when we were young men, it was we would get those canvas tents, and my bed was a pile of straw, with a blanket thrown over me for I'm reenacting 17th century. And now, if you were to coax me into reenacting 17th century, 18th century, it would be, yes, I've got this tent and all the gear up here for show. It's like a museum. I don't actually sleep on that rope tension bed. No. After
go
hours,
back to my
I go back
motorhome.
to the hotel room where I can hop in the hot tub and ease my tired muscles from the day's work of walking, and in double lasted or straight lasted shoes. And that's why I always wore who would always get mad at me? Bill always was on me about costume stuff. At Festival, he was always on me about my costume stuff. Why are you wearing that way? Don't put your hat on, or whatever. And at the rendezvous we did, the regiment, I would always wear, instead of my diced hose and my straight lasted shoes, which are historical, I would wear my military, my riding boots, my Ariats, lace-up boots, very comfortable, and I'd put on what was the precursor to spats, the leggings that would go up to the knee. It was usually navy blue facings, and it was period, and that would go down and cover up all the lacing on my boots and all around the top of the boot and around the heel. And so I would wear it that way, and I looked, period. But Bill would still get mad at me. You need to put on your uniform. It's a hose, dice hose today. I go, no, I'm wearing these. I said, because my feet are worn out of the straight-lasted shoes.
Yep.
Yeah, they were. Teresa D'Antone, welcome, by the way. You missed the photos earlier of Dave out at the festival sword fighting with Bill Locken yesterday. So, for a special event, a wedding or something.
It's true. Oh, go ahead.
It's true. Go ahead, Ruben.
Oh, I was just going to say it's true with that type of, especially with the Scotch.
By the way,
all the gear is heavy. The wool coats are heavy. I used to have a buffalo
warm
stagecoach buffalo coat, and by the end of the day, my shoulders were like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
So it was so heavy, and people don't know. And you're walking around. I'm walking around in moccasins, just a thin piece of leather.
Yeah.
And so it's a wear and tear kind of situation. And I don't miss that part. I miss the days of sitting around a campfire after a great meal.
Exactly.
Yep.
And just schmoozing, talking, and
well, that's because we're like old now.
We're the elders.
We're the elders.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did that happen?
I am an elder. Here, let me
somehow
show
we
everybody
grew up
this.
wise. I don't understand.
This is for Teresa's sake and anybody who came in late. I'm going to share my screen. Boom. And we're going to go over here to this. Okay, here's Dave yesterday in some of his old costuming. And the guy on the right in the blue is Bill Locken. He played the sheriff out there, the Lord High Sheriff out there for years. But this is them doing up on one of the stages out at the festival, doing a little sword fighting. They're both, I want to say, certified sword instructors. And so then they've been doing this for years and years. And so this is them doing some of their sword play out there. Bill is like 72 or 73 years old. You remember Bill, don't you, Ruben?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So he was our captain with the regiment.
And I forget his wife's name.
Laura.
It is Laura.
Okay. Somewhere. There she is. She's the one in the gold shirt and the black leather. Back.
Oh, yeah, I see.
So there's Bill.
Yeah.
So there it is. So they did a little bit of that. There's a little rapier dagger for you.
Rapscallions, both.
It was a little fast, and there it is. So, yeah, Dave had a chance to get back into costume yesterday.
Very nice. Very nice, Dave.
And there are parts of that I really liked. I mean, buttoning down that doublet and going, hey, I look pretty good. And going out, I love that. And tons of people stopped me to take pictures and stuff.
See, that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah. But this morning, I'm recovering from the pain that it caused.
There's that. This weekend here in just 6 miles east of me here in Warwick is the New York Ren Fair coming up.
It's a good Ren Fair.
Open the doors after 2 years from COVID and whatnot. And I've told you this.
Have their North Carolina Fair coming up.
Oh, so they
bought a big one of the big booth buildings out, the crafter buildings, and they're doing their mermaid stuff out there this year.
Sweet. So. Very nice. Very nice. So one of the guys I covered for when Puke and Snot took a leave there.
When Joe died.
Arsène Dupin, who's French. He's a magician and doesn't speak until the very end. And you don't realize he's
I know
French.
Arsène.
Yeah. He comes and we have dinner every time he comes up. So I'm trying to reach out to him now, and he'll get me some comp tickets, and we come and see him. Yeah, it's pretty big. It's notably sizable to Minneapolis, Shakopee, Ren Fair. lot of trees and more
Of course,
structures.
Minnesota
But
and
yeah,
Texas,
I haven't seen him in years.
he's well.
Minnesota
He's doing
and
well.
Texas Ren Fair are
Good.
the biggest ones, I think, in the country, or at least used to be.
And he leaves here, New York, and then he goes to Texas, where they do theirs. So I think in Dallas, right? I'm not sure.
Well, there's two, and I think it's Dallas and Houston. They're actually not in those cities proper. They're,
Waxahachie
Waxahachie and
is outside of
Todd
Dallas.
Station are the two towns
Huh.
that they're actually in, but that's where they're closest to. Yeah.
Those are
Right.
the big ones. Well, those are the big ones
The
in
big
Texas.
Yeah.
And of course, Minnesota
Nice.
was the guy who was part of founding Minnesota is split off and founded the one in Texas. So
Yeah. George.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
Those were the days. And I do have fond memories, of course. But yeah, you're pretty brave, Dave, to don
Brave
the
Dave.
outfit and go out.
Brave Dave.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
here, this is a little low res, but I'll show this one as well. I don't have any pictures on me of Dave back in the day, but this was I got to share my screen to show you once again. This is there. That's the last time I was out at fair. Back in this is 2005.
What are you doing to your codpiece?
That was a Nostradamus standing next to me. And it was a stage show, and he did his taking magical items out of my codpiece. He just reached down there and he go boom, and all of a sudden, there's like I don't know, there was either a big ball, and he goes, "Oh, where'd that come from?" He just went poof in his hand. It was an expandable ball that he had squished down in his hand there. And of course, I put my hand down there and go, "Whoa, don't take another one of those out." And kind of fun. So, but that's how I dressed at the festival. Before that, I was a royal guard. So a lot like Dave, we've got our whole retinue of costumes. Here I was Edmund Scroop, the Duke of Abergavenny, Wales. So ain't nothing. Thrice, what was it? Thrice a cousin, thrice a bastard, and thrice removed from the crown. So there it was. All right. That was that.
That sounds like what I say when people say, "Oh, where are you from?" Fast Horse. I say, "Well, I'm Lakota Sioux from South Dakota. You know what comes out of South Dakota, don't you?" They say no. And they say sunshine, sunflowers, and sons of bitches. That's taken from an old Josie Wales line.
Yeah. Matthew Sainsbury, Nostradamus. Yeah, it was a play on Nostradamus. Nostradamus, he called himself. And,
Nostradamus.
Tom Bleasy. And he played this wild wizard. Think of a little bit of not Mad Mardigan. That was Willow. Who was the weird wizard in one of the Hobbit movies? The woodsy wizard. He had the animals that would live in his beard and his hair.
The Brown.
And he had the long, flowing eyebrows and mustache, and that's what Nostradamus did. He put
Scotty,
almost a
Look in your messenger. I just sent you a picture of us from the from Clantartan.
Oh, all right. Oh, I've got this picture somewhere. Let me see if I can call this up. There's
Bill Locken and Laura. That's how look how young we were.
God, oh my God. We were all young. When was this? This was about 95, something like that.
Oh boy, 96.
Here, I'm going to save this. I'm going to call it up so I don't have to share my screen again. I can do it the right way. By just I have to resave it as a PDF.
Yeah.
And we'll call it Regiment. Or this wasn't the Regiment. This was
Clantartan. So I'm the
That's got to be
provost
like
marshal.
1995 or 96.
Yeah, 96. You're carrying the ensign. I'm wearing my musketeer stuff, but
Here we go. This is everybody
Bill
you're
is a
picturing
captain of
pictures
cavalry.
of.
Laura's there. She's one of the drummers, and James Keel.
Let's see. I'm just saving it. I got to upload it into my stuff here. And this is an old picture, folks. You know, you look at old pictures now. We had technology back in 1995, but they still look like old pictures. Not just because we're young in them. Let's see. Let me load this into my system here. We did a big event. This was a private event. This was not one that was open to people. It was kind of our rehearsal for the year. We do every spring, May or June, so we could do the bigger events. And we get the whole clan out. And this is a group called Clan Tartan. And we did 1600s, 1620s, the Scots.
Yeah, teaching Scottish history to American youth,
Yep,
as I put it.
who fought in, because it was Minnesota, Gustavus Adolphus 20 Years' War. And so let me find, where did it just go?
What'd you do to it?
I put it on my desktop, and now I don't see it anywhere. I called it Clan Tartan. Why is it not there? I hate that when I do that. You save something and you go, well, where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Probably randomly
Photoshop
fell into a
PDF,
folder.
Clan Tartan, desktop is where I wanted to put that. Yeah, I see I'm on the desktop. We'll save it again, just in case. Replace.
So
Save.
the weird wizard you're talking about is Radagast the Brown.
Radagast, that's it.
Radagast.
So, there it is. Radagast. Okay, all this effort for this. It's loading now. So here is Dave and I in 1995, which is just about, that's what, 27 years ago? Is that when that was? 95?
Well, I have no gray in my beard.
Here we are in 1995, 27 years ago in our group Clan Tartan. Now that's me on the far left. And then there's Dave right next to me. That's
and
Uncle
then Bill
Dave in the
Locken
red
next
pants.
to me.
You can always tell Uncle Dave, he's in the red pants. I see thou art wearing thy red pantaloons today. Let's see. Then that's Bill Locken, right next to him in the plaid pants, and his wife in the plaid pants next to him. And then that's James Keel, a good friend of ours, historian. You probably know him, Ruben, James, from old reenactment days.
And an extremely talented artist.
Wow.
Talented artist, yes.
Yeah, I remember him. James.
So those were the old days, man. Look at that. It's before I sported a goatee. So, and before Dave grew his all out long and gray. I don't know why you decided to go gray, Dave. You should go back to the dark color.
Yeah, it looked good.
So,
did I build that doublet for you?
Yes, that's one you built for me. I loaned it to Scott Peterson and never saw it again.
Love that doublet. It's beautiful.
And yeah,
I still have those red pants.
Russet, you still have what?
Those red pants. I was unpacking stuff yesterday, and
nice.
That's one of the pairs I can actually wear those still.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Dave used to be a handsome, dashing man. Along with me. We both used to be handsome and dashing.
Yeah.
Except I was still just sporting my porn stash. I hadn't gone goatee yet. That's how long ago that is. So
I said, well, God, I'll just keep my hair, just keep it getting longer and thicker, and I'll just be a little less dashing when I'm older.
Thank you, Teresa.
Scotty can grow a goatee and go bald. I don't care.
That doublet that I'm wearing, Dave built that for me. It was a russet colored leather, and he did the buttons were these big round brass balls. So I don't know. There was something to that. I don't know. That was a hidden message. Here, I'm making you a doublet with brass balls. Oh, thank you. They're about the size of musket balls. So
Yeah.
we were a pretty authentic group. So yeah, we had a lot of fun with that.
I always liked those at Ren Fair, those leather mugs, ale mugs.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
still got one.
Yeah.
interesting.
Hold on, I think it's right here. Yeah, this is my old festival mug, right there. So, yeah, it's sporting different things now. But we would take who was it? John Learman was here yesterday, and he was kind of looking at this. He goes, "What's that?" And I go, "Oh, that's the those are the little strap-ons. We put that on your belt, and then there's a loop down here that's snapped, and you'd hang your mug.
Cup strap.
It
Mug
would hang
strap.
from the
Cup
backside
strap.
of your belt. But this is a by the way, Dave, this will have meaning for you. This is all the junk out of there. This is one of Mac's mugs, the late Mac, and mine was. And believe it or not, this is an early numbering. Mine was 15,937 was the number. He put little numbered. He numbered all his mugs.
Wow.
And I bought this in 95, I think it was. Right
I
around
had
that
one
same
in the
time.
4,000s.
You got one in the 4,000s? Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, these were every festy had one of these, and we'd hang them on our belts. The only thing was, you're not supposed to drink hot liquids in them because there's a wax he used in his finish. But we ended up getting coffee and stuff in these and everything. So that's one of my mementos from my old festival days.
There you
now
go.
I hold my wooden spoon and a tube of acrylic paint and a wrench and
All the essentials.
All the essentials are right there. Oh, and my antique Coca-Cola. Look at that. That is a
Oh yeah.
Coca-Cola ice pick. That goes in there too.
So no.
Yeah, got a different jack for every character.
So no.
Yeah, I had a few. That was my oldest.
No toothpaste there. No hemorrhoid cream.
No hemorrhoid cream. We didn't have to worry about that back then. That's now.
The essentials.
Yeah, just the essentials. So, you want to see some here. I'm sorry, folks, but I make no apologies. I got to share this one more time. This is here is one of my festival albums of people. Here. Now, can you see that?
Oh wow.
Okay. Now there's that was my costume. Let's just go through these. My daughters and Rainey's sister, and then their friend on the right. Look at that picture. Are you in that picture, Dave? No. There's a bunch of old friends from festival. This was at the ceremony for Lewis for his garter.
Oh.
When that was taken. That's my brother-in-law, Carrie. That's where Rainey was. They're the ones up in Alaska. Now, that's a costume Rainey made for me, but those are the boots that Dave made for me.
And I built Carrie's doublet.
And a little Dave and Lewis on those boots. Those boots came up over my knee, you can see, and Dave built them, and then Lewis did a little decorative stuff at the top. But that was my very last year at Festival, 2007. There's Rainey, of course. This was the Muses. Rainey is the second from the left, if you can't tell. That's the summer I met her and fell head over heels for her. I suppose you can see why. There she is.
I got a question for both. I got a question for both of you. What was the purpose of those knee-high boots? I was under the impression, or what I've learned, that it was due to the filth to not have
I
cuts.
don't know. What was the purpose of having that? I know
Well,
you could roll them down into bucket boots, but
yeah, but pulled up, you generally pulled them up for riding and stuff too.
Oh,
that is not Rainy, by the way, though. In these two pictures, the brunette, we did a bit together, a Taming of the Shrew bit on the streets. That was the parade. So I'm sorry, Dave. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, I was just saying
That's
that
Amanda.
they were for riding, but often were worn down in sort of a bucket fashion, hence the term bucket boots.
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah.
Oh, that was our Taming of the Shrew bit. She would take me to the ground. She would slap me with that horse crop all the time on the ass. I bear welts to this day from Amanda doing that bit. So we did that for 7 weeks like that.
Wow.
So there she is. That's when we first started putting the bit together.
Lovely Amanda. Still my
there's
muse.
Rainy. What's that? What about Amanda?
Still my muse.
Yes. We still talk a little bit every now and then. So, but there's Rainy in the middle there, the muses.
Rainy and Ashley, and I cannot remember the blonde's name.
I can't remember her name either.
I remember
Inconsequential to me.
She was funny, but
There's Rainy taking a nap. She was one of the muses. That's her umbrella. And she made all those costumes. Rainy did.
Wow.
That's the year I came back and did the Tam O'Hare readings in 2007. There's Sam on the left. That's Abby and Bryn and Kelly Joe in the middle. That's not festival. Oh, there's Royal Guard. When I said I was in the Royal Guard.
I remember that.
These aren't very big photos, folks, so you might.
I built that too.
Did you build the Royal Guard one?
Yep.
That's Lindsay. You remember her, Ruben and Dave, both of you. That's who I dated that woman for about 4 years before. And after we broke up, I met Rainy about 6 months later. So,
whatever happened to Lindsay, if I may ask?
All I know is she's married. That's all I know.
Oh.
I have no idea. So, there's John, the current king. I was his sidekick that last couple of years at the festival. That's why I'm standing up with him at one of the shows. So I was his master of horse, Edmund Scroop, my cousin who shall never be king, he said. So these were all there. There's Nostradamus. There he is. That's the ball he extracted from magically from my codpiece. So there's all the show going on. Yeah. There's Nate Favilla, and it's Favilla. We always called him Favilla. I said, isn't that in Mexican? Is that not Spanish? Is that not Favilla? So, and John Schleifer next to me, Royal Guard.
Yep.
There's 10 Seconds of Harmony. They came and spoofed me one day or roasted me one day at the Smoker. That's me down in the middle being roasted. So... Oops. Nostradamus again. That's Amanda when we're doing our Taming of the Shrew bit. I would hoist her up over my shoulder and walk, and she'd take her horse crop and whip me on the ass.
Faster, faster, faster.
Faster, faster.
Hey, Scotty.
Yes.
When I lived with you, Ash and I, before our kids, we lived with you in Minneapolis.
2000.
Yeah. Who was the young man that lived there as well?
Oh, Dan Kajowski.
Kajowski, that's it, Dan.
He was part of the regiment as well.
Yeah. And Rent Fair.
Oh. Remember, folks, I've talked to you about the masks that Dave made.
Oh, yeah.
Or I've got one of them sitting here. The rabbit one is missing. I think I left it in a tub at the Masonic Hall when we did the Paradigm Symposium there. I think they still have all my stuff over there. So, but that was Tam O'Hare, played by Wayne Grimmer. And Dave, oh, I thought the next one would be up in there. I guess not. It's a Man in Me. But that was one of the leather masks that Dave made right there. So. Linda Schaefer.
Who took all these pictures?
These are all taken by all different kinds of people. Some of them were Master Aquarius, Chris Nash, and some of them were Kaylin Caston. So that was Linda was my queen for a day out there at that festival.
I remember her. Yeah.
Dave remembers her. We all remember her. We were all in one way or another vying for her. So, but that's in England. Some of my 10 seconds of harmony. But there's Sarah. Can't think of her last name. Lejeune. That was the first year I did the Prince for a day when John became the king, and I played his Prince Philip, having returned from treatment. Was the gig. So that's why the thing on the top of my head there. So there you go. Well,
we called it a crown.
A crown, yes.
Or a pointy hat.
A different word for it, the wreath or the whatever it is.
Coronet.
So
the crown.
At least it wasn't the
coronet. I thought there were more festival pictures, which I thought, I blew this way up. Maybe that's why I can't see them. We go down to I thought I could get back to the albums. Perhaps not.
Oh, well.
I just inhaled a bug.
Excellent.
Protein.
That was the very famous Marlon Brando line. Oh, I think I swallowed a bug from filming Apocalypse Now. It's an outtake from the movie.
It's pretty good, Marlon Brando. I'll share with you my impersonation of I like was Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Sean
Connery. I remember him from a Highlander. It was remember your head leaves your neck, it's over.
Mine's coming from the Hunt for Red October when Alec Baldwin impersonates him. There's a lot of smoke in here.
Yes.
But my classic line I love is you gave to me, Scotty, was or you shared was what is it? Indiana Jones, where he's like, honey, it's not the years, it's the mileage.
I've got that. It's the header on my Instagram for years. It's not the years, honey. It's the mileage.
That's right.
Great line. I think Dave and I can both use that. Almost anybody that has done the things we've done can quote that line. All old adventurers.
My oldest brother is 10 years older than me. I look older than he does. And somebody commented on it at the family reunion, and I said, it's not the years, it's the mileage, but they were some damn good miles.
Yeah, damn good miles.
I like that. That's good.
I got carded the other day. No, I didn't get carded. They weren't going to card me, and I'm like, what? You don't think I look underage? And he's like, no, sir. I think you're. I said, I'm just 20 years old, man. High school was hard on me.
See you later, Teresa. And Teresa said, oh, yeah, Scotty, you didn't stand a chance of walking away from Raini. She's still got it going. Truth.
Yeah.
Truth. My neighbor caught me as I was running out to my Jeep. I missed.
What?
Were you?
Who said that?
Were you naked? My neighbor caught me running out to my Jeep. Everybody finish that line. Let's get some good ends of the line. My neighbor caught me running out to my Jeep blank. In a hurry, naked, fetching groceries.
Eating a sandwich.
My neighbor caught me running out to my Jeep eating a sandwich. My neighbor caught me running out to my car, running out to my Jeep. What? In transcendental meditation. I don't know. What? Everybody, give me a good line for that.
I don't know.
And just in my cod piece.
In my codpiece. My neighbor caught me running out to my Jeep wearing only my codpiece. Imagine how
Why
awkward
was your
it
neighbor
was
wearing
when-
your codpiece?
I was just going to say, imagine how awkward it was when I found out that was my codpiece he was wearing. So. Oh, those functional cod pieces. There were times where you unintentionally would flash a whole crowd.
Oh yeah.
Like if a button came loose. I looked down once and I was missing a button. I had Dave. Was it Dave? No, Raini made these for me. My black velvet tights. And she made it with a functional cod piece. So, where the tights go onto your body, right where the fly should be, it's just a big opening. And nice hemmed edges, and then you put the cod piece as like a triangular shape that goes over there. And she sewed it into the bottom. There were buttons to button it up at the top, and this was very fashionable. And the buttons were so you could, release the hound for releasing bodily fluids. Is yours an ankle biter or is it a Great Dane?
Let the turtle loose.
Let the turtle loose. And
look at the shy turtle. He's up inside his shell.
oh, look at him. It's not too cold out here. Come on out.
I was going to say,
So, but there were days I'd look down and I'd see she did these little gold buttons that were, they had the Tudor rose on them. And on my codpiece, one at each top corner, and you'd undo one of them and that flap would come down. And so I looked down one day, we're walking down the street, you got a sword on this hip and a dagger on this hip, and we're swaggering, as Dave, as well as I do, the best swagger a man can have is when he's dressed in leathers and wearing swords on him.
Oh my God. I had
what a
swagger
swagger.
yesterday.
And so we're swaggering, and I look down and I see I'm
Is
missing
that
a
a
button.
cold breeze I feel?
Is that a cool breeze? Is that air conditioning? And I look down and I'm missing a button, and my flap is open, and the there's just a slit in those, so it's the slits like this, and so you're walking down, you would get through that slit, you'd get that little hello with each step. Hello. And it's like, Bob, oops. I don't know how many people I unintentionally flashed, but I was getting a lot of looks. And so you thought, well, they must really like my costume. They say, oh, such bearing I have. They're all impressed. No, it's your wiener. So
it's funny they didn't,
my kids would say.
They didn't put any dollar bills in your.
Yeah, really. Should have. Hey, Steph, nice to see you today. I'm sorry you got to go.
Something just
out of here in about 10 minutes anyway. So.
Something just about bad with that too is a breech clout as an Indian.
Oh yeah,
wearing a breech clout.
There's no crotch in a breech clout.
Oh boy, and you got to move it to the side, in order to do your business in the odd house. And I was at a powwow on my reservation and had to drop breech clout and use
Isn't a breech clout simply like, think of a wide scarf that you'd wear in the winter time?
Much.
Long scarf, and right in the middle, you pull that up around your junk and your ass crack and put a belt around it or a rope or whatever, and the rest would hang down in the front and the back. And that was your Indian undies.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was in the porta potty at this powwow and had to do my business, so I did. And then I was, one of those moments where you got to go, and you're running, and you're trying to fumble with your buckle and everything, whatever, just to get your business done before you you potty yourself.
Right.
So I finished my business and I stood up and stretched with my breech cloth to my ankles, and the door opens, and I see 7 teenage girls standing there.
Nice.
I should have got a dollar bill then, but I forgot to lock it. I was in such a hurry to do my business so it opened up and they got a free peep show, and they closed it, and we're all giggling. And I stayed in there for a half hour before I came out.
Breech Clout, Native American peep show.
If I ever open a strip joint, I'll call it the Breech Clout or something.
Breech Clout. The angry breech clout.
The pissed off breech clout. Yeah,
pissed off is more like it. Let's see. I thought I had a picture of you in your breech clout.
That's exactly what I'm looking for, because I thought I had a picture of him too back in the day.
I'm looking through. I got a picture of you and Ash and your boys. You're wearing a chief's bonnet or war bonnet.
Oh yeah,
all in costume. An old picture of you and Ash. I don't know if that's a painful thing to remember. So, but I do have. Here, guys, about the time I met Ruben. This is kind of a low-res picture, but I'm going to share this, Ruben.
Sure.
Let's see. Well, not quite yet. Getting it prepped here so I can share it without having to totally redo my screen again. Let's see. We'll go that way, and we're going to save this as Fast Horse. And we'll put it out there, and we'll make it a PDF so everybody can see it. Now, when I met Ruben, he was living with us in the year 2000 or 2001. And I had already known him for a year or two then. So that lets you know how long we've known each other. We can't always put the exact years on it, but it has to be, 20, 22 years.
Yeah, that's when I slept with you. I mean, I slept at your place. So
yeah, no, not with me. Not with me. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's what we were doing. Hey, you little redskin. You look awfully cold not wearing many clothes.
in the breech clout.
Yeah, really. Let's see. Here you go. This is that's an old picture I have. Ruben and Ash. That's back about the time I met Ruben.
That's ancient. Wow.
Yes, it is.
Shot. And I also have I have the album cover for the album you guys did.
You helped design that. But
I designed it, yeah.
The logo with the horse. I gave you a quick sketch, and
all I did was took your signature and your Native American styling of your I've still got that somewhere.
That's a beautiful hair pipe breastplate too.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you guys.
It's a bone breastplate, Dave, and I had to what do they call it? Put some patina in it. So I used tea. I soaked it in tea bag. Gives it that patina. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I just sent you one, Scotty. It's not Ruben. It's Larry Yazzie, but it's
Larry.
I did this outfit for a film he was in.
Here, let's see. Hold on.
And it's his deerskin leggings and breechcloth and hair pipe, breastplate and all that, and bone pipe.
Ruben and his wife Ash, they did an album a few years ago, and I designed his logo for him, and but it was based on his Ruben's signature that he did when he would sign documents and or autographs and things like that at these events. He would do his little pictograph of the fast horse, and I think I still have that around.
It was the only way that we had never had a written language. So it was a picturesque language. So we would draw an Indian's head, and then from the mouth, a line going above his head, like you get a light bulb, like an idea above your head.
Yes.
And you'd write, if it was quick bear or something like that, then you'd put a bear, or above, mine is fast horse, so a horse running. So that was
Right.
did it. So Scotty spun that, and that was pretty good. I'm gonna have to bow out here, gentlemen, but thank you for the
All right, you've got a class.
Amnesia Lane. Yeah, and Dave, always a pleasure. But I put in the private chat my link for the class, so that's just there. So I thank you, gentlemen, as always.
Put the link in. You can go listen to join his class, folks, if you'd like to, because we're going to be out of here in a few minutes anyway. So,
Yeah.
Ruben, good to see you, brother.
Have a beautiful day, Ruben.
Live long and prosper.
And you too. Live long and prosper. I guess you too isn't the proper response.
Cheers. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
See you later. All right, folks, I'm going to show you, since I actually called these things up, I'm going to, let me take that picture out. There's just Dave and I. And I'm going to show you a couple of other pictures of Ruben here. So let me upload a couple of files for you to look at. I got them over here. Fast Horse logo. We'll get that one going. And also, I've got their Spirit album cover right there. Okay, so Ruben and Ash, back in 2003, I think it was, they released a CD, and they did some of his flute music. Their Ash's singing songs in that very Native American way of doing it, and and they called their album Spirit. And so we took a picture for their front album cover, and this is low res, I'm sorry to say, because it's back in my files on old discs somewhere, and I pulled this off the internet. But this is Ruben and Ash back in that day. That was the front cover of their CD album. And so that's Ash. And she was a magnificently beautiful woman. And there's Ruben. And then I did their logo, which was based on he'd draw a little pictograph. So I took his pictograph and converted it into a logo, Fast Horse. So what he would always draw is the horse portion that you see here with the two legs and the mane. And I just added the feather and the Fast Horse. This was a logo. We did this back, 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, this work that I did for them, they asked, well, what do we owe you for this? And I said, nothing. And I didn't want them to pay me. So they got me this ring. This is this ring that I wear. I've worn this for, what would that be? 20 years now. That's the ring they got me. And for those of you in the know, that's the ring of Barahir. Barahir. That's the ring that Aragorn wore in the Lord of the Rings movies, and the way Tolkien had it sketched out as well in the books, with the two dragons and the emerald and so on. So they got me this ring. So I've worn that ring since 2003, 19 years. I've had that. So there you go. So, yeah, they did a CD. I think you can still get it out there. If you look it up online, it's called Spirit. By
I have
Fast
it someplace.
Horse. Use those as your criteria, and that should be enough to get you there. And Dave's picture of the breech clout. Oh, I see that. Yeah. What were the leggings called? Just leggings? They had the leggings.
Yeah, they're not that different than chaps, really.
Really, yeah. They're like crotchless, assless chaps, but you had the breech clout on. So, anyway, there we go. So, guys, guess what? With all that reminiscing and photos and things like that, we're done for today. It's after 11 o'clock. So not that we can't do whatever the hell we want. Oops, I'm trying to remove that. We can do whatever the hell we want, but
I'm gonna go cook a steak for breakfast to recover from yesterday.
Steak for breakfast. That sounds kind of good.
Maybe throw a couple of eggs in there with it.
Rainey's not even out of bed yet.
So, is anybody up, or is it just you?
Nobody's awake. I have seen nobody, and it's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Rowan's halfway across the state.
Yeah, she's across the state. Everybody else, they're either watching TV over in Ellie's room but I've seen nobody hiding her hair.
I thought you said Rowan was at the Dells.
She's at the Dells.
Yeah.
Rainey would be in.
I see. Rainey with the Ellery in though.
Yeah. So, all right. That's all I got. So,
all right.
You know,
give the family a hug for me.
Fun. We went from a dark beginning, talking about something negative, to reminiscing. So I hope
and think about that trip to the Carolinas, because
it's a
16-hour drive.
I like the idea.
And I mean, I have to go to take the stuff out there, but it'd be great to have.
If I'm going to Sweden, the trip to the Carolinas might be hard to squeeze in there.
I understand that.
I'll know for sure, in the next couple of weeks what's going on with Sweden. So that's all about my budget at that point.
Yep.
Because everything's just suddenly got funneled into making a move. So there we go. All right, Dave. Good to see you, brother. I'm going to get out of here, so I'll let you go. Talk to you later. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me this morning. Once again, for those of you who are new to the show on Sunday mornings, it's Sunday. It's just informal. Has nothing to do with the radio show other than it's just me. So join us Monday through Friday for the radio show, the actual radio show, Intrepid radio program. And we'll see you then again tomorrow night. So you know what? Just want you to all have a good day and live long and prosper.